Metaphysics. The question is, what do we actually mean by metaphysical sciences? This word transcendence comes from some big misunderstandings in the past. So it's important to understand these misunderstandings, and it's really, really important to fix them. The universe today is like a giant open book. We're looking at its huge size with big telescopes, but this massive, massive size is beyond anything we've ever seen or experienced. There are loads of things and creatures in the universe, some we can see and some we can't, that are beyond our understanding and experiences. But apart from experiments and the information we've gathered from science, we've called these things metaphysics, parapsychology, and other names. These sciences and all other spiritual studies are what we call metaphysical sciences. From lots of scientific and non-scientific evidence from these metaphysical sciences, we know that there are other creatures and beings besides us in the universe. Some of these, like jinn, angels, souls, and devils, we know a little bit about. But this information... Number one, this information is very basic. Secondly, it's just a guess. The reason for this is that we can't really tell the difference between these creatures. We don't know their individual identities. We can't figure out if something strange that happens to us is a jinn playing a trick or an angel, or just our own soul doing something. Because we don't understand the difference between these different beings, we call every creature a metaphysical creature, and every strange event a metaphysical event. And the research done in different spiritual studies on these different events is also this kind of general metaphysical exploration, which is like shooting arrows up in the air. Some might hit the target, but most won't. It's super important to tell the difference between spirits, jinns, angels, devils, and definitely other creatures, just like we tell the difference between each other. This is Rashid, this is Rabia, this is a man, this is a woman, this is an animal, this is a bird. We know the difference between all of these, so because we know what each being is like and what they do, we don't make mistakes and we reach the right conclusions. For example, when a building is built, we don't say an animal built it. We know the difference between humans and animals and what they can do. So we say a human built the building. We usually know what creatures or species are like and what they do, so we don't make mistakes. But we don't know anything about supernatural creatures. We don't know how many there are, what types, what they're like, or where they live in the universe around us. We just have a little bit of surface information based on a few things that have happened. So, when we see a strange creature or something unusual happens, we just call every creature supernatural and every event a supernatural event. For example, in a survey in America, when people were asked if they'd ever seen an angel, about 81 million Americans said they had. It's really important to deal with the problems in spiritual studies. We need to look closely and understand the basic issues that are causing trouble in this area today. Of course, out of millions of people, not everyone has seen an angel. Some have met a spirit, some have seen a genie, some have seen an angel, and some have seen other creatures. But ordinary people don't know the difference between them, so whenever any creature is mentioned, everyone just talks about what they've seen. If you mention angels, everyone talks about their own experience, even if it wasn't an angel. Just like ordinary people talk about their supernatural experiences without knowing the difference, experts also study them without really knowing. This has caused a big problem in spiritual studies. Now, the situation is that so-called experts or spiritualists collect some supernatural events and explain them according to religious rules. Some scientists try to study the same supernatural events scientifically. Some psychologists say supernatural creatures are just optical illusions, and supernatural events are just superstitions or mental problems, and they give long explanations about them. These methods aren't right. Experts in spiritual sciences need to be really good at what they do. The way to do this is to look for the differences between creatures and learn to identify each one individually, recognizing everything about each creature. When an expert really knows their stuff, they'll be able to identify the creature behind an event. Just like we can look at a house and say it was built by a specific person, not that it's an optical illusion or that an animal built it. But until we learn about these creatures and can tell the difference between them, studying all supernatural beings won't get us anywhere. The main point is that today, because people don't understand their own spirit and self, they think they are supernatural creatures. That's why loads of scientists, researchers, philosophers and mystics working on things like the spirit, the self, evolution, reincarnation, the mind, the unconscious and consciousness haven't been able to achieve anything important. Rubina Nazli's in-depth research looks at the complex links between metaphysical ideas and human consciousness. Her work has gone on for decades, carefully analyzing the details of the spirit, the self, the mind, and the unconscious. Through her extensive studies, she has greatly improved our understanding of these complicated topics. This is because no one has been able to properly identify these things individually, spirit, self, mind, unconsciousness, and consciousness, and no one has created a proper definition of what a human is. After years of continuous research and thinking, I, Rubina Nazli, have done comprehensive research on humans. I can now give a definition of the whole human being, spirit, self and body, and identify each part individually through my new theories. So here we'll take humans out of the category of supernatural and give them their own identity and define them. We'll look at all the work done on humans throughout history without any bias. In the past, some work focused only on the spirit, some said the body was the only real thing, and some focused on the self, all of which were pointless. We'll identify the good and bad points of human work from all times and fix the mistakes. We'll give each spirit and self its own identity. We'll introduce and discuss the detailed characteristics of each spirit and self. We'll define what a human is. We'll correctly explain the creation and end of humans step by step. We'll present solutions to issues like evolution and reincarnation. We'll correct the theories of fate, free will, and the story of Adam. Throughout history, individual work has been done on evolution, creation, the spirit, the self, or the physical body of humans. But here, the goal is to give each spirit and self its own identity and to connect them together to define what a human is. This is the first practical effort of its kind. This is from Rubina Nazli's book, Human Science of Soul, Ilmul Insan.